welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new here, then thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you consider subscribing so you don't lose me into the YouTube black hole. So today I'm just going to show you 3 easy, simple, maximum weight loss meals. Now, maximum weight loss is from Dr. McDougall over at the Starch Solution, and all of my meals today will follow his 50-50 plate method, which is 50% high starchy foods and 50% vegetables. Now, me personally, I do slack a little bit in this area. I do just eat a whole food, plant-based, vegan diet that is high starch, low fat, and no oil, but I tend not to do a lot of the 50-50 plate methods myself because I am maintaining weight loss. Now, personally, I decided for the next 10 days, I'm going to challenge myself every single meal to follow the 50-50 plate method for no other reason than I just want to. I don't have to lose any weight. I am still maintaining my weight loss. I haven't gained anything, but I just decided, you know what? I want a different sort of challenge. So for the next 10 days, I am eating the 50-50 plate method. If you're new here, I will add some of my favorite what I eat in a day videos down below, so that way you can check out how I normally eat, because like I said, it's normally not all 50-50, but it is whole food, plant-based, high starch, low fat, so I'll give you some different variety of ideas. But let's jump in and I'll show you what I had for breakfast this morning. And I actually had vegetables for breakfast, which is pretty rare for me unless I have a savory breakfast, but I'm going to show you all 3 meals, so let's get started.
Like I said, I am having veggies for breakfast this morning. So this is about 8 ounces of broccoli. I made a 16-ounce bag in my air fryer and then saved half for lunch. If you are not making air fried broccoli, you are so missing out. And then here are my oats. I have about 2 cups of dry oats, a banana, a little Brazil nut there, and about 2 tablespoons of cocoa. And I'll just mix that up once it cools. But I'm having this as I edit a video, and this was such an amazing breakfast. I also have a big container of water. I am making sure to get so much water in every day using this water bottle, which I'll link below if you want to check it out. It's over on Amazon. And then for lunch, I decided to have 2 potatoes. But do you know what's better than 2 potatoes? 3 potatoes. So yes, I cut up 3 potatoes and I put them on a tray and I threw them in my tier air fryer. I do have multiple air fryers, but it's because I'm addicted to frying my food. So then here is my large plate with some broccoli. I had about 8 ounces left over and some ketchup. I love potatoes with just a little bit of sea salt or French fry seasoning and ketchup. Like, it makes me so happy. And this is so much food. So this was my lunch this day. This was so filling and delicious. And I can't wait to show you what we're having for dinner. I had a quick snack this day of just some peppermint tea. I love tea. So if you're new here, you might not know that, but I love, love, love tea. And I had a banana, and I was pretty full from my lunch. So that was my snack. And then for dinner, I made both my husband and I this kind of mock ramen. I really love ramen, so I've been making like a mock ramen with rice, and I decided to use leftovers of brown rice and white rice and then throw in a bag of frozen veggies. So I did have some veggie broth that I made this day, and I decided to use it for this recipe, and I saved some for another recipe. So I put that into my pot, and that added a ton of flavor. Now you could just use regular water, and you could use veggie broth like bouillon if you wanted to, or you can just use water in general, but I just feel like this amps it up so much and adds so much flavor. So I'll show you how I make my veggie broth here in this video as well. So I just go ahead and add my vegetables. I have my heat on medium, some salt, some soy sauce, and some crushed red pepper. That is always like the go-tos for me. And you're probably thinking, why are you adding salt if you're adding soy sauce? So I do use a lower sodium soy sauce, and then I add salt to every single meal because of the essential iodine that is in the one that I use, which is very important for anyone following a plant-based diet. So, and because I run so much, I do feel like I need the replacement. I feel a lot better when I do salt my food. So I'll just taste and go, but I do add my rice in cold. And like I said, this is on a medium heat, so I don't really ever bring it to a boil. I just bring it to a simmer and I taste it as I go. I make sure it doesn't get like super, super hot because we want to eat it right away. But this giant pot made 5 servings, and we each had 2 servings. If you haven't tried using your leftover rice this way, you definitely should. And now for the secret ingredient, Dijon mustard. Now, this sounds probably so weird, but it tastes so incredibly good to add Dijon mustard to soy sauce and a broth. I love it. My husband loves it. You can also do like a sweet and spicy mustard. It's just really, really delicious. I highly recommend doing so. Mine is almost gone, and then I'll put some lemon juice in it, shake it up, put it in the fridge. But I probably put about 3 tablespoons total into this really large pot. Now, once you heat it, it will get like creamy and it will mix in really, really well to your broth. But then if it sits and gets cold, it will separate. So don't worry about the separation. It's totally normal. I've had a few people ask me and say like, it looks weird. Yes, as the soup cools down, it will separate, but if it stays warm, the Dijon mustard will stay creamy like it looks right now in this pot. So I was tasting and making sure I had enough Dijon, enough soy, enough of everything, and then it was perfect. So here is the final bowl. Like I said, my husband and I each enjoyed 2 bowls, and it was delicious. And then I kept one of the leftovers to have later this week, which this is a great leftover as well. So you have tons of veggies, tons of starch, and it's just a really good way to use up leftover rice. And then for a snack this day, I had an oopsie, but I had a popcorn later tonight. I thought I would show you really quickly how I made my veggie broth for the ramen. It's really, really easy. I took about 4 cups of just leftover scraps, onions, sweet potato, celery, and carrots. It wasn't as much as I normally do, but I just had some left over this day, and then I covered it with water. I did about 9 cups of water, which is a little bit more than I probably should have because there wasn't that many veggies. So the broth wasn't super flavorful and strong, but it was still delicious. A lot of times I try to get a really, really dark broth, but that comes when I have a lot more vegetables. So I just put all of that into my Instant Pot, and then I put in some salt and garlic. That's just what I prefer. You don't have to season it at all if you don't want to, but the salt and the garlic just adds a lot of flavor with these vegetables, especially as it cooks in the Instant Pot. And then I pop the lid on and I turn it on for an hour, and then I naturally release it for 5 minutes. It is foolproof. It literally turns out so good every time. The more vegetables you have, the darker the coloring of the broth will be, but I highly recommend making your own broth if you don't already, saving your veggie scraps, because we all use broth in so many different recipes. Like I keep bouillon on hand for when I'm a little bit too lazy or don't have enough veggie scraps, but making your own broth is another way to get so many good nutrients. Plus it's a really good way to cut back a little bit more on waste. You're taking it one step further with your vegetables. And here is what my broth ended up looking like. Like I said, it was super delicious. I used 2 of them for this recipe, and then I'm going to save the other for a future recipe, so stay tuned.
Thank you again so much for watching today's video. Just for you guys, I do have a free holiday ebook that is linked below. All you have to do is click the link and download the PDF. So make sure you snag yourself one. Happy holidays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!